Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, I just got home last night from Winterset, Iowa from the Iowa Trappers Convention, and man, it was a great show. It was fantastic. I want to thank the association for putting it on, all the volunteers that jumped in there to help, and I want to thank everybody who stopped by our tables. Whether you bought lure, whether you just come by to visit, we surely do appreciate every one of you. So before we jump into this video, the one thing that I kept hearing over there at the convention from several different trappers, and I know I have followers out in West Virginia that has the same problem. I know I have a follower in Kentucky that has the same problem as well. And they say, you know, I can pick up a few coyotes here and there, but I have a really hard time picking location. So, and I've done a couple of these videos, I know, guys, but I think it's worth going over again. So we're going to show some locations. I'm going to give my perspective of them. Not saying that it's right, not saying that it's wrong. It's just my perspective of the location as to why the fox or why the coyotes or why the bobcats are there. So without any further ado, let's flip this camera around and get started. All right, gang. So here we are. We've got this row crop change. We've got, or crop change, I guess. We've got a bean field here to the one side. We've got a hay field to the other. Now, as we come around, we're facing due north right now. Due north is right there. Okay, we've got this stock trailer and truck here that won't be here later on. Come around, we've got those big round bales. We've got same crop change, just alternate. Okay, it's just the other way around. We've got bean field over here. We've got our hay field over here on this side now. This four-way intersection, here we are facing north again, is an absolute dynamite. You just saw timber mark right there. Okay, this is an absolute dynamite location. All right, it cannot get any better than what this is. Now, we're not very far up off the road, but we're still far enough off the road for a coyote to continue to act like a coyote. A red fox will act like a red fox. All right, you get much closer than that, and they get a little goofy on you. They get to where they're a little waspy, and they don't want to respond and work like they should, because they know if they hang out very much closer than that, they're going to get shot at. Especially night hunters, especially, you know, the thermal guys. They're going to be all over this. So, all right, here we go again. Now we're facing due north. Here in the Midwest, and even through the eastern part of the country, east central, I should say, our prevailing wind is out of the northwest in the fall and winter. So, a logical location would be right just about where that inner tube's laying, that won't be laying there later on. Then right here off of this corner of the crop change. Any fox or coyote hunting through here is going to hunt the edge of this crop change. Now, we could turn around and we could walk up and go and do it again. Right off of that tree line, off that fence line. That's a fence line that runs down through there. And again, it comes to not really a four-way, but more of a three-way kind of a deal. And we'll go up there actually and look. But again, we could do it again right there, just as easy. But we've got this crop change here, and as we said, the first set should be, well, look there, she's going to mark right there. Kind of off of the inner tube, as I said. All right. So, first set right there where she marked. Second set, right there off of that corner. All right. So when we put those two sets in, we know if we're facing north-northwest, the wind is going to be directly in our face. All right. Now, the next set would go, in my opinion, right there off of that corner. And again, out here somewhere. Or you could, if you wanted to, go to the corner right here of the big round bale, between the big round bale and the back of that livestock trailer. Right there. And then again, right there on that corner. Those would be good, logical locations, as long as they're not going to come in here and take the big round bales away. As long as they're going to stay there, you're perfectly fine. If they come in here and they start moving them, well, then you're kind of screwed. So, again, I would suggest here off the corner, and then out here somewhere with the wind against the back of our neck versus in our face. That way, if a front comes in, that way is southeast. All right. So we get a front come in, a lot of times our wind will switch out of the east southeast. So as they're coming up this road, no matter which way the wind is blowing, we've always got lure in their face. We've always got it coming across their travel route. You cannot catch them if they can't smell the set, if they can't see the set, they can't find the set. You cannot catch them, okay? If you're wanting to back off here out on top of that knob in the middle of that hayfield right there, well, you're way off the line of travel. You've got to be close to the line of travel in order to make them stop and investigate the set. That's just how it is. So let's go back in there and look at some more locations right quick. So they're either hunting that grassy or that brushy fence line right there, and then turning and going on up the fence line along the edge of the bean field between it and the brush, or they're hunting up this this heavy grass, heavy brush right here against these big round bales, hunting for mice and such. So always try to be in their face, guys. That's what I'm trying to get at. You've got to try to be right there on top of them. All right, so let's go look at some other locations around. All right, guys, here we are. We're probably, only about a quarter of a mile from where we just were. All right, so we've got this brushy swale that runs right up through this hayfield and goes right up to that bean field up there to the north. Now, you see that little patch of locust trees right off there. It's kind of standing out there by themselves. That would be an excellent location to pick up fox and coyote right there if it was just up a little further and back off the roadways. But when you come onto these situations, do not pass them up. Okay, so we know we're looking to the north, kind of to the northeast a little bit. So we would put a set or two right in around those locust trees. Then we would come and put a set or two up closer to the ditch itself. Anything that's hunting up through there is going to be right in there and in between those trees and the ditch, and they're going to run right into our sets. Now, another good location, I'll try to zoom into it a little bit here, would be clear up at the head of that draw up against the bean field. There's a little bit of a terrace right there that they would run, and they would be right up against the bean field, but they would hunt up this swale, and you could cut them off at the intersection up there really easily. So those are a couple of other good, excellent locations that you sure don't want to pass up if you can help it. Just to give you perspective, on the other side, we're out here on the road right now, by the way. We just looked at that swale and the locust trees. Now we're on the other side. You can see that really brushy draw runs off down into that really rough shit right there. Any fox or coyote in the country is going to be hunting through there, and they're going to come right up over the road here and cross, and then cross right up through that swale, right up, like we said, up to the upper end of it there where the terrace is. Excellent location, guys. You can't pass those kind of things up. All right, guys, so here's another really hot, excellent type of location and terrain. We've got that farm lane that runs all the way back along there. You know, anywhere along it, especially when it butts up against I don't know how well you'll see it, but there's a cornfield right back there. So where that farm lane goes and butts up to that cornfield would be another hot, excellent location. Then we've got this mowed strip off here that runs up through there along that tree line. All right, that's a ditch that runs up through there. Anything hunting along the high grass or anything hunting along the ditch is going to bump into sets that are placed on either side of that mowed strip up through there. Then again, up there where it bumps into the end of the cornfield would be another hot, excellent location. Anytime you've got roadway, they're no different than we are, guys, okay? That's what I'm trying to get through to you. They're no different than we are. They take the path of least resistance. Even your bobcats are the same way. They're going to hunt the path of least resistance. All right? So if we got a chance to walk down a sidewalk, we generally take it. Well, that mowed strip right there, or this farm lane, this road, this 2-track right here, that's their sidewalk. So anytime you can be on those and be in their face, you're way better off when you're further ahead than trying to say be off down there in the timber somewhere or off down in that timber somewhere. It's just not going to work for you. All right, and here again on the other side of the road, we've got this 2-track that goes back in there. We've got a power line that comes through where that 2-track, and I'm guessing it winds around and meets where that power line goes through the timber. That would be another excellent location right there. You've got, there's a clear cut going through that timber that they're going to hunt up through, and when they come to that roadway, it's the same way. It's going to split off and go on around, or it's going to come up here to this gate. So that where that transistor is, or that transformer sitting there on top of that pole, would be a hot location right there where those two come together. All right, guys, so here we are again. We're on a different stretch, a different location. We've got cattle in here, which we all know is a real pain to try to deal with, but we've got this creek running up through here, this little dry gulch ditch right at the moment. When they take the cattle out of here, we're going to have all these cow trails. All right, all of those cow trails are potential locations, especially when they all meet up at a loafing spot or a feeding spot or up there by that drink. They all come to a central location. When they come to a central location like that, again, imagine it as the spokes of a wheel, the hub of the wheel, and the spokes all running out from it, okay? So you've got that drink up there, and I don't know how well you can see that or not, but I'll try to zoom in a little. There's a drink. There's a drink right there, okay? There's a cow trail that runs off behind it. There's a cow trail that comes in front of it. There's one coming up from the bottom of it. Everything meets right there, all right? So again, the center of the hub of the wheel is right there at the drink, and then the cow trails are all the spokes that come out from it. That's the central location. That's where our set should be. Now, I'm not saying that a couple of well-placed sets up along this ditch here somewhere wouldn't be good either, especially where cow trails come down off of the hill and come to this ditch. That would be another hot location that needs to be checked out. Again, they take the path of least resistance. Those cow trails give them a road to follow. All right, gang, there's another really hot location back there. I'll try to zoom in so you can see it. That gap between that big tree over there and that big tree right there, that gap right there going through that there's a 2-track going back to it, and then it's high grass from what I can tell right straight at the end of it. You've got this tree line here, and then you cross around there, and then you've got that tree line there, and you've got that gap with the 2-track coming right there. Again, right at the end of the 2-track would be the center of the hub of the wheel and the spokes going out. 4 sets right there would be absolutely fantastic predator locations. All right, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and end this video here. Like I said, I know I've been over this stuff before, but again, I think a lot of guys are watching the videos, but they're not really looking at the videos. You know what I mean? So take these videos, watch them 2 or 3 times if you have to, whatever it takes to get to where you can go out and confidently pick a location by yourself. And then again, if worse comes to worse, you can always, if you can do it, get yourself a little dog, and that dog will tell you everything you need to know and then some. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in to watch this video. I really appreciate it, and if you would please just give it a thumbs up for me. That's all I'm asking. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.